Hey, have you ever dreamed of embodying a character whose blade and wit is honed to a razor's edge? Does your adventurous lifestyle and innate charisma allow you to secure several types of booty? Well, congratulations! You might be a swashbuckler. But what is a swashbuckler? Well, shave down your mustache, work on your rambunctious tete-a-tete, and get ready for multiple rounds of wind sprints, cause we're gonna make a scene. So, what makes a hero heroic? For some, it's the devotion to a cause at the detriment to one's own health or happiness. For others, it's the idea of standing up for what's right even in the face of extreme prejudice. And for a few, it's just the moxie to follow your own ideals no matter the circumstances.
That's got to be the best parrot I've ever seen. So it would seem.
Here we find the Swashbuckler, the wily debonair swordsman with a tongue as quick as his blade, who is as dangerous to his enemies as he is charming to his allies. The Swashbuckler is a character archetype beloved by generations of people, from Zorro to the Pirates of the Caribbean and even the Princess Bride. So naturally, you'd think that translating this idea into a game focused on adventure and storytelling would be a dream come true. And you'd be right! In many ways, the Swashbuckler is really a breath of fresh air for the rogue class in general, but we'll get to that. For now, imagine you're a vigilante with a heart of gold, or a reformed criminal trying to outrun his past, or a cat with really nice boots. Just know that there's a very high probability you're going to be played by Antonio Banderas. But first, do you consider the laws of physics more of a suggestion? Do you see time less as a constant fourth-dimensional force and more like a space highway? Well, if so, you need Chronomancer's Guide to the Future Part 2 for the most precise timeline navigation. The long-awaited sequel to the Chronomancer's Guide to the Future allows you to patrol the timeline like an interstellar state trooper, correcting past mistakes and occasionally handing out speeding tickets. You see, history has a bad habit of trying to undo itself, and it's up to you and your team to put it back together. Chronomancer's is compatible with any game and setting and has created custom time travel rules, mechanics, tools, and tables for both DMs and players, giving you everything you need to set the timeline straight. Build the perfect party with unique roles and abilities and help the goddess of time, the mysterious seamstress, reweave the multiverse. You can pick up part 1 right now, but the Kickstarter for part 2 will be live very soon. Or also right now if you're a Chronomancer, but for us regular folks, just go to this link below and click the Notify Me on Launch button to be the first to join the time wars. And a big thanks to the folks behind Chronomancers for sponsoring the show. Now, back to the video. So it's your dream to be a swashbuckler. Well, first you need to figure out what kind. Are you as edgy and borderline psychotic as Blackbeard, or as jovial and upbeat as Robin Hood? Either way you slice it, get it? Anyway, you start out as a rogue. Rogues are good at stuff, and by default gooder than you, so they get a lot of skills. You get 4 skills at level 1 from a big-ass list. I'm not going to spell them out for you, you can read. However, we also get expertise at this level, letting you double your proficiency bonus and 2 of those skills, and while I want you to be able to flavor up your character however you want, please make sure to take Persuasion. It's going to come in really handy later. In general, we're going to focus on your dex and riz stats to really play into that swashbuckler archetype, and this is going to skyrocket your Persuasion score to basically supernatural levels. You also get Sneak Attack for 1d6 extra damage if you meet the Sneak Attack criteria, and this goes up by an extra d6 every 2 levels you take in Rogue. Your goal is to take advantage of an opponent's opening to deliver one very deliberate attack. Luckily for you, your charm is enough to confuse or piss off the bad guys to get in that deadly slice. I mean, really nothing to me says swashbuckler more than just straight up flirting mid-fight. Who says every encounter needs to end in death? Some can end in, well, not death.
Nope.
We also get Thieves Can't. Thieves Can't what? Thieves can't stop complaining that I compared this to the language in SpongeBob last time. Fine, you want the boring explanation? It's a series of random words and phrases from many languages, but still for some stupid reason every Thieves Guild uses the same one. So more or less, just replace every 3rd word with fart and every 5th word with butt, and that's Thieves Can't. You mother fartin' dumb butts. At 2nd level, we get Cunning Action, which allows you to dash, disengage, or hide as a bonus action because while you might be a hero, you will still often find yourself on the wrong side of the law or outrunning an angry father or two. But finally, all our time spent on swordplay and trash talking has paid off, because at 3rd level, we become a real swashbuckler. At last, we can stop all this slinking in the shadows nonsense and prove to everyone who the real star of the show is. Your fighting style would consist of popping in and out of danger and carefully selecting targets, but that makes you all the more dangerous one-on-one. Fancy Footwork plays into this beautifully, letting you lash out at an opponent and dip away without them getting an opportunity attack. This saves your bonus action to kite them over to a new location or hop back and forth, staying out of their reach. You also get Rakish Audacity, which not only lets you add your Riz modifier to your initiative rolls, but also gives you a new way to land a sneak attack. If you have an opponent locked into a duel and have no other allies or enemies within 5 feet, you now have sneak attack every turn as long as you don't have disadvantage. You are an absolute menace to fight one-on-one, and once you combine this with Fancy Footwork, you can drop in on a target, sneak attack them, dash away, and repeat this until tender. Be creative with it too. With all your cunning action abilities, you are the Swiss Army knife of being annoying to pin down. Just try not to be swarmed by enemies. Crowds aren't the best for you. Who knew? Your biggest weakness would be multiple swords. You also get steady aim for free advantage and sneak attack as long as you don't move or do anything else, but unless you plan on dual wielding a sword and a hand crossbow, this ability isn't something you're going to use that often. 5th level gets us Uncanny Dodge to shrug off damage by burning your reaction just in case your opponent gets in a lucky shot, but 6th level gets us Expertise and 2 more skills. If you didn't take Persuasion, now's the time, because nothing says Rogue and Swashbuckler like getting yourself into trouble and then fight talking your way out of it.
You fight like my sister. I fought your sister. That's a compliment.
7th level gets us Evasion, letting you take half damage on failed dex saves and no damage on successful ones, meaning you can just cartwheel out of a dragon's fire breath and then stab them in the toe. You'd be surprised how often that works. But at 9th level, we get Panache. Now here's where things get real good. By this point, you've become so charming or so distracting that even the bad guys can't ignore your flair, letting you use your action to force them to make an insight check against your persuasion check or take a fat debuff. I mean, come on, that's not even fair. Even if you only have a measly +1 in charisma, your bonus to this check is a +9 and just going up. When they fail, not if, when they fail, the enemy has disadvantage against any other target and can't make an opportunity attack unless it's against the Swashbuckler for a minute. Combine this with Fancy Footwork and you've completely eliminated opportunity attacks for that enemy. But wait, there's more? Yeah, if you can believe it, you can also do this check to non-hostile creatures to just straight up charm them for a minute instead. So you can infiltrate hostile businesses by flirting with the front desk girl, or make sure you always get the best seats at the local tavern. You basically have a better and more consistent version of Charm Person, and with your high charisma, that's just dangerous. 11th level gets you Reliable Talent, making sure you never roll below a 10 on an ability check you are proficient with, which is just a stupid ability for a skill monkey, especially for us. Meaning the lowest we can roll on a persuasion check is a 19 if we only have that +1 charisma. Your DM better have rolled up some insightful motherfuckers, cause your Panache ability is gonna steamroll through any situation you need to talk your way out of. At 13th level, we get Elegant Maneuver to spend a bonus action to gain advantage on an acrobatics or athletics check you make during that turn. More ways to use your bonus action are always super cool, but I'm just imagining all the cliffs you can shove your enemies off of. 14th level gets us Blind Sense to hear any invisible creature within 10 feet of you, somehow, and 15th level gets us Slippery Mind for proficiency in wisdom saves. But at 17th level, we become a Master Duelist. Once per day, if we fail to hit a creature with an attack roll, we can just do it again, but with advantage. Not only does this give us sneak attack if we didn't already have it, it allows you to make sure you get that fancy footwork in a time you need it most, or deliver that huge 96 sneak attack to finish off the big bad target. Finally, at 18th level, you get Elusive, guaranteeing no attack roll ever has advantage on you, and 20th level gets us Stroke of Luck to turn a miss into a hit or treat a failed ability check into a flat 20 once per day. As far as capstones go, they're not the worst I've seen, but it's level 20, guys. Can we spice it up? Make it to where every single stroke gets sneak attack or something rad, man. We stuck with Rogue for 20 levels. You gotta help me out here. But anyway, does the Swashbuckler live up to its dramatic reputation? I certainly think so. Panache is so great of an ability that I could almost make an entire video just on the hundreds of uses it has by itself. But like the best subclasses we've seen, the Swashbuckler sticks to a theme and does it really, really well, while building upon itself with each new subclass ability. While personally I think the weakest rogue abilities actually come in the later levels, the Swashbuckler gets most of what they need right out the gate, which is much appreciated. The entire concept of the Swashbuckler is such a relief too. While most of the rogue subclasses focus on the dark underbellies of the D&D world, the Swashbuckler forces you to play right out in the open to take advantage of all its abilities. In fact, I think the Swashbuckler is the departure from convention that the rogue class needed. I mean, how many of them actually attempt to hog the spotlight instead of run away from it? And I can't miss talking about multiclassing either. We haven't made it to the Swords Bard yet, but what an absolute match made in heaven those two are. But Fighter, Blade Singer, Hexblade, hell even Lore Bard to really hammer home the insult game. The options are incredible, especially when focusing those combos that highlight the run and gun playstyle and put this subclass in a league of its own. So if you aren't at your best unless you're the absolute center of attention, can flirt so effectively it basically counts as magic, and have ever forced someone to chase you so long they'd rather just be stabbed, guess what? You might be a Swashbuckler. Hey guys, big thanks for making it this far and watching the video. If you like this one, make sure to share it, especially if you know somebody who's playing this subclass. More subs are coming up on the poll very soon, so check that out, and until next time, have a good one, and I'll see you soon.